Hello, and welcome. Tonight we tumble back into the deep grass of 1970s Texas, where the sky feels endless, the air smells of dust and sun-warmed hay, and a 23-year-old girl named Sissy Spacek stands barefoot on a porch, heart thudding in her ribs. You're about to witness the beginning of something strange and rare, a love story that slips past the cameras and settles into real life. And fair warning, if you've been relying on dating apps and astrology memes to guide your love life, you might not survive this kind of sincerity. Before we begin, if these stories resonate with you, feel free to like the video and subscribe, only if it truly speaks to your heart. And if you're watching right now with someone you love, drop your location and local time in the comments. We'd love to know where in the world you're listening from. Let the room grow quiet, the lights grow soft, and together, we'll drift into this evening's story, slow and steady. You don't know it yet, but walking into that audition room will be the first domino. Sissy's still grieving her brother's passing, still unsure if she's an actress or just a girl with a funny voice and too much emotion. Badlands is her first real role, opposite a young Martin Sheen, in a low-budget crime film no one expects to go anywhere. But someone else is there too. Jack Fisk is a set designer. Not flashy, not famous. He builds worlds with plywood and paint. And when he looks at her, really looks, he doesn't see Carrie White or a future Oscar winner. He sees Sissy. Just Sissy. It's not love at first sight. Exactly. It's quieter. A gravitational pull. To this day, folks still wonder how two young artists, both unknowns, locked into something that strong, that fast. Maybe it was the dust in the air. Or maybe it was two souls recognizing they'd been circling each other long before the cameras rolled. You blink, and suddenly it's 1973. The New Mexico desert wrapped around them like a forgotten country. You're standing there watching Sissy in her worn jeans and sunburnt arms, tossing props onto the back of a beat-up truck. Jack's there too, always nearby but never in the way. You don't even need dialogue. It's in the silence between them. In the way she hands him a hammer without asking. In the way he nods like, yeah, I already know. They weren't rich. They weren't Hollywood. Heck, most folks on that Badlands set weren't even sure they'd finish the film. The budget was tight, the shoot chaotic. One day, the director made everyone move the entire production to a different location, just because the clouds weren't behaving. That's where Jack came in. Set designers had to be part MacGyver, part magician. And he was good. He could build a town out of scrap wood and spit. Sissy once said she admired how he never tried to shine. That he wasn't trying to impress anyone. And maybe that's what made her fall, because in an industry full of mirrors, Jack was more like a window, one that opened. They started spending their off hours together, late-night drives, sandwiches on car hoods, hours painting backdrops under buzzing lights. To this day, folks still debate whether love is a moment or a process, whether it hits like a thunderclap or sneaks in like breath. But ask Sissy, and she'd tell you, it was both. It was a quiet certainty, growing louder every time he stayed late just to clean up her scene. A gentle kind of devotion, the kind that doesn't ask for anything back. Remember that fringe fact. The same weekend she met Jack, she almost left acting for good. But something, or someone, told her to stay. You ride the wave with them now. Back to Los Angeles, where the sidewalks are cracked but the dreams are polished. She's home from Badlands. He's got paint under his fingernails, and neither one of them wants to let go, so they don't. Within a year, they're married. In a no-foos courthouse ceremony that lasted 5 minutes and changed everything. Their house isn't big, but it smells like coffee and cedar, and the faintest trace of paint thinner. She's not yet an Oscar winner. He's not yet a legend in the art department. but they build their life like they built those sets, bit by bit, plank by plank, sturdy, simple, and impossible to fake. It's 1976 now. Carrie hits theaters, and suddenly Sissy's not just a rising star, she's the star. Blood-soaked, trembling, unforgettable, offers pour in. Photographers camp outside their home. Publicists say, "Let's get you out there. Let's make you seen." But Sissy says no. Not without Jack. Not if it costs their quiet. To this day, folks still argue over how fame should be handled, whether you let it swallow you or leash it. Sissy and Jack. They let it knock on the door while they had dinner and politely asked it to come back later. The quirky detail. Jack made a rule early on. For every red carpet event, he got to pick the next dinner spot. Usually some offbeat diner where the menus were sticky and the pie was divine. It grounded them. It worked. She'd read scripts on the porch while he fixed a broken chair. He never once tried to direct her career. And she never once stopped thanking him for holding up the foundation so she could fly. And somehow, through all that stardust, the front porch light stayed on. You see the gold statues now, lined on the shelf like distant cousins who only visit on holidays. Sissy wins the Academy Award for Coal Miner's Daughter in 1981, and Jack is right there in the front row, clapping like it's prom night. She thanks him first, not her agent, not the Academy, Jack Fisk. But they don't move to a mansion in the hills. Nope. They pack up and head to Virginia. Yes, Virginia. 10 acres, tall trees, and neighbors who don't care about movie deals. You mow your own lawn, make your own soup, and if the roof leaks, you fix it yourself. That's how they liked it. Their daughter Skylar is born, and suddenly the roles shift. Jack's building dollhouses, not sound stages. Sissy's driving to school plays, not studio meetings. To this day, folks still debate whether stepping away from the spotlight is bravery or betrayal. Sissy would say it's neither, it's just, ... choosing better light. Jack keeps working quietly behind the scenes, designing for directors like Terrence Malick and Paul Thomas Anderson. Sissy takes roles that speak to her, not the ones that scream. They turn down more than they say yes to, and still, the industry whispers, how are they still together? Well, maybe because they never treated each other like props in someone else's scene. Because when he'd wake up early to feed the horses, she'd already be in the kitchen, steeping tea and humming Johnny Cash. The quirky bit, Jack once built her a writing studio, entirely out of reclaimed wood, just because she offhandedly mentioned she needed space to think. It became a little myth in Hollywood. Not flashy, not scandalous, just steady. And if that's not revolutionary in showbiz, what is? You lose track of time on their porch, rocking chairs creaking just so, cicadas humming background vocals. It's decades later now, and still, the two of them move like a private orbit. Jack sketching ideas on napkins, Sissy barefoot in the garden. No entourage, no headlines, just the rhythm of a life they built together. He still calls her Spissy, his old nickname for her. She still laughs like the girl who once burst into a scene without makeup because she forgot she was filming. To this day, folks still wonder if it was luck, or timing, or some secret ingredient. But you know better. It was intention. Every red carpet they walked together. Every grief they endured, parents lost, roles rejected, films shelved, they weathered without making it a performance. Even now, when the spotlight swings their way, they duck just slightly to let it pass overhead. Jack once said the best part of being married to Sissy wasn't the fame, it was that he never had to audition again. And Sissy, she said Jack was her compass, her calm, and her challenge. Not bad for a guy who started out painting fake blood on walls. And maybe that's the real romance, not the awards, not the press, but the thousand small Tuesdays, the quiet dinners, the shared silences, and one long, slow road home. If this story warmed your heart or reminded you of your own journey, we'd be honored if you gave it a like and subscribed to stay with us for more gentle tales made just for you. Take care of yourself, rest easy, and may tomorrow bring peace, warmth, and maybe even a good laugh. Good night, dear friends.